Have you ever logged off a virtual sales call and just known you completely lost the room? I mean, the camera was on, your slides were perfectly polished, but the connection? Total dead air. Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our student hats to solve exactly that problem as we unpack marketing paradigms in the low-touch economy. If you've been feeling the ground shifting beneath your outreach or sales strategies lately, trust me, you are not alone. We're going to break down how to adapt, prepare, and really thrive in a business landscape where physical proximity is just completely removed from the equation. Let's dive right in. All right, part one, the paradigm shift. So for decades, the undisputed lifeblood of business development was traditional contact marketing. Think about the psychology of that classic in-person meeting for a second. You had the firm handshake, right? The exchange of physical business cards, the ability to read the subtle body language of a room, or even just that casual rapport you build while walking from the lobby to the boardroom. Those little rituals inherently built a foundation of trust before a pitch even officially began. It's like a massive shortcut to human connection. But that shortcut, it's gone. We're now operating in the unyielding reality of low-touch economy marketing. When we lose that physical handshake, we literally lose the easiest, most primitive way to establish safety and rapport. Instead, we're separated by glowing screens, multiple time zones, and just a sea of endless digital distractions pulling at our prospects' attention. So the absolute first objective we have to master is recognizing that you can't simply take an old in-person strategy, slap it onto a webcam, and expect the same results. The entire psychology of how a prospect evaluates you has fundamentally changed. And that brings us to the formal definition driving this whole shift. It's the vital transition and differentiation between those two specific methodologies. The mechanics of trust and connection have basically been completely rewired from the ground up. If the old methodology relied heavily on, physical proximity and personal charm to build a rapport, this new low-touch methodology relies entirely on digital competence and immediate friction-free delivery. In the low-touch economy, your handshake is now the clarity of your introductory email. Your eye contact, that's how professional your camera is framed and how crisp your microphone sounds. When a client clicks your meeting link, their brain isn't assessing your suit anymore. They're subconsciously assessing your digital environment and your preparation. Did you send a structured addenda beforehand? Do you look well lit, or are you just a shadow in a messy home office? Actually, scratch that. Think of it this way. Differentiating between the old roles and the new roles is absolutely crucial. It's step one to closing that digital gap. Okay, moving on to part two, low-touch economy marketing. Now, the core of mastering this new reality might actually surprise you, because the real battle is won or lost long before you ever join a call. The intense focus of this entire training methodology is what happens before the online contact marketing is even conducted. It's really not about in-the-moment, off-the-cuff charisma anymore. Think about it. In a high-touch environment, an experienced pro can maybe wing a meeting based on pure charm and a decent lunch. But in a low-touch environment, winging it is basically digital suicide. Because attention spans are way shorter and exits are incredibly easy. A prospect can literally just click Leave Meeting. This means your preparation must involve meticulous, almost obsessive pre-call research. You're going deep into a prospect's recent LinkedIn activity, understanding their company's latest news, and mapping out a highly personalized conversation track that proves you've done your homework before you even say hello. If you don't establish massive credibility in those first 60 seconds of a video call, they're just going to minimize your window and start answering emails. The preparation isn't just a precursor to the marketing anymore. The preparation literally is the marketing. Let's get into part three, preparing for online meetings. So we can map this entire process out into a clear, pretty unforgiving, logical journey. Step one is differentiating the paradigms, which we just explored. You really have to intellectually accept that the game has permanently changed. Then, step two is undergoing the rigorous preparation training specific to this highly structured digital environment. And only after mastering steps one and two do we finally reach step three, actually conducting the online meeting itself. One of the most classic, fatal mistakes professionals make today is trying to leapfrog directly to step three. They schedule a virtual meeting, treat it exactly like a traditional sit-down boardroom pitch, and then wonder why the client is completely disengaged. When you skip the paradigm shift, when you fail to adjust to digital attention spans, your methodology fundamentally collapses. Treating a virtual platform like a physical conference room just leads to cognitive overload and immediate disinterest. The digital meeting isn't the starting line, guys. It's the final execution of a deeply prepared process. Ultimately, finding success in this low-touch environment requires leaving absolutely zero to chance. You must know the exact step-by-step preparation needed before that camera ever turns on. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, it spans three distinct pillars. First, you've got technical preparation. Hardwiring your internet, checking your mic levels, optimizing your lighting, and making sure your software is updated so you aren't fumbling with screen shares for 5 agonizing minutes. Second is strategic preparation, having a meticulously timed agenda sent 24 hours in advance, anticipating objections based on your research, and having relevant digital assets, like case studies, queued up and ready to present instantly. And third, mental preparation, shifting your own mindset from a casual chat to a highly focused, value-driven digital performance. Every single touchpoint before the meeting sets the stage for trust, or it destroys it. This framework is highly structured, and yeah, it's pretty unforgiving, but when executed properly, it's massively effective. So, knowing what we now know about the death of the traditional handshake, the massive psychological shift in how digital trust is built, and the rigorous demands of pre-meeting readiness, I have to ask, are you truly prepared for your next online contact marketing meeting? Or are you still leaning on old, outdated habits in a completely new, low-touch world? I want you to think deeply about that before your next calendar invite pops up.